I sure am. Let's do this. Gerek comes out with a really strong march. Van Haaster throws out a random counterattack, but Gerek is easily able to find the target. That was a pretty ill-advised move by Van Haaster. He didn't really do anything to set up the counterattack, and he's gotta know Gerek can finish into that. Gerek does the exact same march as before. Van Haaster counterattacks again, but without crushing the distance this time. Gerek finishes long off target. So at least Van Haaster's trying something different this time. Both start, but it looks like the referee gives it to Meinhardt for some reason. I don't really know, I can't separate that. But Van Haaster asks for a video review, and the ref upholds it, so who knows. Gerek finishes his attack early. Van Haaster starts to march, but he goes way too fast, letting Gerek do that. Gerek Meinhardt, ladies and gentlemen. That is a parry 6, jump, and flick to the back. It's actually a fairly typical Meinhardt maneuver on defense, and Van Haaster actually helped him out a lot by rushing. Gerek marches again. Van Haaster can't really do anything about it. Gerek finishes off target. Gerek starts again. Van Haaster attacks into it, but it's Gerek all the way. Gerek has just been merciless this bout. He's only really let Van Haaster attack once, and even then, he just made him look embarrassingly clumsy. Gerek has the initiative pretty much by default now. Let's see what he does with it. Okay, now he's just showing off. He didn't need to do that to hit. He had a lot of options available. That's just savage, man. I mean, it's a nice touch and all, but it's also kind of humiliating for Van Haaster. He's probably hating his life right now. I kind of feel bad for him. It's never fun when your opponent can get away with doing stuff like this to you. But Van Haaster actually rallies and makes a beautiful attack right off the line. But Gerek just makes it look so easy. Parry 4, riposte off target with lightning speed like it's no big deal. Gerek parries and boop! I do feel bad for Van Haaster, but this is just so hilarious to watch. Real talk though, in this situation, you shouldn't just wait around for your opponent to riposte like Van Haaster does here. You should either get away, remise, or go after his blade. Otherwise, you're just giving him free time to find the target. Once again, Gerek makes a fast and loose march and finishes off target. Van Haaster still doesn't look like he knows what to do in this situation. And to be fair, Gerek hasn't given him any time to figure it out yet. Gerek finishes just a hair short and Van Haaster's attack arrives. That was actually a really nice flick by Van Haaster, but I should note that the touch was only his because Gerek messed up. Gerek just keeps on marching. Van Haaster tries to both crush the distance and close out with a counterattack, but Gerek just finishes right through it. Again, this type of counterattack is rarely a good idea against Gerek, but I feel like Van Haaster's just doing it because he doesn't know what else to do. Another fast and loose march by Gerek, and another off target. Nothing really new to report on that one. Short attacks back and forth from both fencers. Van Haaster starts, but he goes way too fast before he's ready to finish, so Gerek gets away. And then Gerek is like, no, this is how you finish fast. And there it is. He actually hits in 4, despite Van Haaster's parry at the last second. It seems that none of Van Haaster's defensive actions are working. He's tried counterattacks, parry ripostes, everything in his arsenal. But Gerek doesn't even seem to care. He's just finishing, and hitting, pretty much every time. Both step forward, step back. They trade parries back and forth, Gerek gets away. Van Haaster starts. He's much more patient this time, which is good, but he finishes from too far away, and Gerek hits him with a distance counterattack. So Van Haaster's execution still isn't great, but at least he's being a little bit more proactive, and he's staying alive for a bit longer. Now Gerek is really pushing the limits with this fast and loose prep. Van Haaster actually finds a really good time to counterattack, but Gerek somehow finds an off target. That's a bit sloppier than what you'd expect from Gerek. Van Haaster starts, and again, he's much more patient now. But he does rush a tiny bit, and Gerek slips in another counterattack off target. Now Van Haaster lands a really nice riposte here, but he was only able to because Gerek tried to remise after his first riposte was no. Generally not a good idea, but I guess the risk was pretty low because he's so up in score. And good on Van Haaster for identifying that and capitalizing. Now, Gerek has been really used to having Van Haaster completely at his mercy when he does this really fast and loose prep. So in this action, when Van Haaster actually steps forward instead of back, Gerek isn't expecting it, and ends up already past Van Haaster by the time he's ready to think about finishing. So it looks like we may have found a weakness in Gerek's fencing at the very start of his attack. Van Haaster also identifies this, so he goes for an attack in preparation on the next touch. But so does Gerek, and he's ready to finish immediately. Gerek makes a very long attack, but ends up way too close, but Van Haaster doesn't look comfortable infighting and lets Gerek get away. He starts an attack, and it looks nice, he's varying his tempo and he's patient, but he can't find a way through to the target. Now Gerek starts, and finishes. Like so many of his previous attacks, Gerek just finishes in 4 right through Van Haaster's parry. He's just that little bit too fast for him. The next touch is covered up by the slow motion replay, so I'll just take the referee's word that it was Van Haaster's attack. This time both fencers go forward, but it's a little bit more obvious than before that this one goes to Gerek. But now something seems to click for Van Haaster, and he starts defense a lot more like he did against Leal, very composed and relaxed. Gerek starts fast and loose again, but this time Van Haaster actually manages to defend himself successfully. Now he starts, and again he's very patient, making a conscious effort not to rush even after beating the blade. Gerek parries his first attack, but then lets him start again for some reason. This attack finally looks like Van Haaster's comfort zone, but he finishes a bit too long, and they get into some scrappy infighting. Gerek tries to go behind the back, and then they kind of just face roll each other until there's a halt. I don't know why Gerek didn't get the touch here. Maybe Van Haaster was off the strip, or maybe the ref just called halt because he couldn't tell what was going on. Anyway, coming out of the video replay, Gerek starts a pretty slow prep compared to what he's done before. There's blade contact and then both turn a light on. The ref initially calls this as Van Haaster's parry riposte, but Gerek asks for a video review, and the ref overturns the call and gives it in favor of Gerek's speed attack. Van Haaster attacks again, but again he rushes, so Gerek hits him with the flying preem riposte. I mean, really? Come on, Gerek, you're up 13-3, that's almost disrespectful at this point. Now, I really like this next attack by Van Haaster. You can see, at first, he starts to rush, but then he realizes, no, be patient. And he just inexorably pushes Gerek down the strip and makes it look very easy, finishing short. That was actually beautiful, and if he'd done that more often earlier in the bout, this could have been a lot closer. But sadly, it's a case of too little too late. Now Gerek knows what to look for, and he lands a counterattack when Van Haaster tries to do the same thing again, ending the bout with a score of 15-4. And there you go, an absolutely dominating performance by Gerek. Van Haaster kinda got wrecked. This is what a top 4 fencer in the world is capable of. Even though Van Haaster could have done a few things better, this result isn't all that surprising to me. Gerek is a very consistent performer, and he tends to raffle stomp people far below him in rank. As we'll see later, it'll take an on-fire Richard Cruz to finally take him out. But I'm getting ahead of myself. First, we have to finish the round of 32. The next bout will be Andrea Casara versus Jeremy Cadeau. See you guys next week, and stay sharp.